Right? Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. Because it didn't record the first time.
Because water on Earth is so important.
It is important. You know why it's important?
Because it makes up so much of the Earth's surface.
Oh, we start with life on Earth. But yes,
Darn
also
it.
correct.
And life.
Yes, it is important for life on Earth because all living things need water to function, especially you. Your body is 2/3 water. 2/3. They had to write this down today. That's why I like repeat. Nice person to person. About 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot. I didn't know that till this year.
I've heard that.
Or I guess the first year, but still. I just assumed it wasn't. I don't know. Anyways, for cells, water is important because it helps carry nutrients and it helps cells flush waste.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And then water is also important for a lot of life forms that live in water.
Like fish and dolphins and whales and shrimp.
It'd be really funny if you kept going for a minute and they were just
and crustaceans.
We don't even have to write this down.
Some frogs live in water sometimes.
They're like tadpoles.
Tadpoles, yes.
Okay, so water is important. 71% of Earth's surface is water, which is why it looks blue from space.
Oh, there's Earth. And then look in the back corner, that's the moon. There's no water there.
But there might, they're looking for it.
I thought it was on Mars.
They are looking on Mars, too. Yeah, you're right. There's no water on the moon. Science teacher.
Yes.
Okay. So of all that water on Earth, salt water makes up most of it. 97% of the water found on Earth is salt water, which means only 3% is fresh, ready to drink, delicious water.
It's a lot of salt water.
My mouth kind of dried up just thinking about it.
Didn't y'all talk about solubility? No, that doesn't matter. Does that go with salt water?
Well, it has to do with how much salt you can dissolve in water.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so of the 3% that's fresh water, 70% of it is frozen. So 70% of that is frozen.
Like in glaciers and icebergs.
Correct. So either inland or on oceans. If it's on land, most of it's in glaciers, which is a large mass of ice and snow that moves over land. We don't really count the ice cubes in your glass because those are super tiny when we're talking about all the water on Earth.
And they change.
Whereas glaciers
and icebergs, like the Titanic. I got them. Those icebergs.
Those icebergs. Yeah, so iceberg is any mass of ice floating in the ocean. About 1/8 of the average iceberg shows on top of the ocean. 7/8 of it would be underwater.
They're huge.
Like in Titanic.
Like in Titanic. Y'all should watch that movie, or at least just that clip of when it hits the iceberg.
When they show it and it's
yeah, and it falls into the thing,
falls
the
over
deck
the deck. Yeah.
And Rose and Jack are.
I think listening to us talk about it is just as good as watching it.
Yeah.
Okay. So 70% is frozen, 30% is free flowing. So when we say free flowing, that includes rivers, lakes, anything underground, in the atmosphere, in plants, in animals, in you. All that counts as free flowing. Anything that's not frozen, basically. So of all that free flowing water, you've got two kinds. You've got surface water, which is any water on the surface, and and groundwater, which is water trapped below Earth's surface.
Common sense.
In the ground.
It's so great.
Helps. Reading helps.
Yes, ground.
Oh yeah, this is we didn't even fix this.
Miss Bauer made a little mistake.
I made a grammar boo-boo. Prezi does not have spell check or grammar check, fun fact, for those of you that have turned in Prezis to me. This should either say groundwater can get there by or groundwater gets there by, but not what it actually says right now. I don't know why we leave it on there so long and point it out. Okay, it gets there by infiltration, which we've already talked about, which is the entry of water into the ground surface. The important part is the downward movement of water through Earth's surface, which is called percolation.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a funny word. But in coffee pots, the water drips through the coffee, and it's called a percolator because the water, moves through the coffee grounds. And you're not going to know what I'm talking about, but you can ask, your parents.
A dance called the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
I really don't know that.
It's from, maybe 1999, 2000.
The percolator. Do you go down?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
They're all going to look it up and probably come show us.
Oh, geez. I'm probably going to get in trouble
now.
It's probably an awful song.
Okay.
Don't look it up. It's going to make them want to do it more.
For infiltration and percolation to happen, the ground must be permeable. Permeable substances allow liquids, in this case we're talking about water, to flow through them. Impermeable substances do not. So dirt is permeable because there's space between us. It has pores, porosity we talked about. Concrete is not permeable. Hey, Miss Milligan.
Hey. Say hey to Miss Bauer's
We're
kids.
recording.
Oh, hey, you all. It's Bauer's last video.
It's my last video.
I know. Oh.
Okay.
Those are from Miss Bauer, Miss Barber. I just don't want to walk them back down.
Okay. That was a good interruption. Okay, so gravity is what pulls the water down, like through all those processes, through infiltration
Which
and percolation.
makes sense.
Because gravity pulls
yes.
to the center. Okay, now we're going to go through some properties of water. We're going to do labs or have already done labs on all of these, so you'll be super pros by the end of it. So polarity,
Pro-water people.
Pro-water. Polarity we did a lab on yesterday. Water has a positive and negative end. That's what it means to be polar. Water's polar, and that's super important because it lends itself to all the rest of water's awesome properties.
It's like magnets have polar, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. And like Earth has a North Pole and a South Pole.
Yep.
So cohesion, which we'll learn about tomorrow, is water's ability to stick to itself, which it can only do because it's polar, because then like the pluses line up with the negatives, it makes a little chain, and we'll learn about it, and it'll be great.
And that's like when rain is on windows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it like slides down and like attaches to another drop of water, it makes more water?
Yep.
Or a bigger
Yeah, it's
drop
like, you
of
know, like
water.
one's going down and it like zoops over to like with its friend. Yeah, cohesion. It's very cool. And then surface tension, I'm sorry that's so tiny, is a special kind of cohesion that happens at the surface of a body of water. So like there's those water striders that can walk on top of water. That's because of surface tension. It's like a little insect. It's tiny.
Oh.
She looked at me like I was crazy.
Just blew my mind.
And like if you ever do a belly flop onto water, it like hurts. That's because of surface tension. Adhesion is water's ability to stick to other things. So cohesion is its ability to stick to itself. Adhesion is its ability to stick to other things. So like if you look at generic Scotch tape, because Scotch is a brand, it'll be called adhesive tape.
Adhesive. It sticks to things.
And we should already know water is the universal solvent. It can dissolve more substances than anything else on Earth.
That was that sweet tea one, right?
Yeah, I think. Oh, that was like mixtures. But
Oh.
yeah, I think that might have been in there
Kinda.
too. Yeah, solvent was for
Yes.
sure. Yeah, that's why you're back.
I guess I'm back. It's
And
my
then
specialty.
Specific heat. Water has a really high specific heat. We talked about this. We did a lab with the sand and the water and we heated them up and it took forever. It takes a lot of energy to heat up water, and water has to lose a lot of energy to cool down.